right, so let's get right into the video. So this is going to be a little different. I'm going to try and show each product I use where you can actually see the product, because I never do that and I apologize. So I like to stay, motivational in all my Monday videos, just because I feel like that's what's needed in this time. And I don't think, bringing a bunch of toxic advice or or just toxic topics in general are going to help people in this time, especially since we're still in the pandemic. People are still locked in their homes. I feel like people want motivation, and if you don't, this is just not the channel for you. But either way, if you want foolishness, come see me Friday. So we're going to start off with some color corrector. I already moisturized my face. As you can see, I am a grease ball. So all right, let's get into it. This is NYX color corrector, and it's the orange color corrector, as you can see. So most of you, if you watch my channel, you know that obviously I want to eventually start a business. Now, I don't talk about it much just because I am a strong believer that you should move in silence, just because you're always going to get a lot of naysayers. You're going to get a lot of people that don't want to see you grow. You're going to get a lot of people that think, you're thinking too big. And I get it. That's definitely understandable. But is that going to help us in the long run? I don't think so. When it comes to, we're going to start about talking too much. We're going to talk about that first. So when it comes to talking too much about what you inspire to do, if it doesn't go out as you happen as you planned, then what are people going to say? I always say starting a business, but notice I never really elaborate what I'm going to do, when it's going to come. And when everything's set in motion, that's when I'll speak on it. When everything's already lined out and it's about to come, I'm about to open it up, let everyone know, then that's when I'll speak about it. And that's how you have to have an outlook on most of the things that you are trying to accomplish. Speak when it's done, they'll see your fruit. And if you want to market and all that, I get that. But do it when it's almost done. When everything's said and done, that's when you can talk about it. Because a lot of times, people, even family members, people will do this and not know they're doing it. They'll project their fear on you. Oh, yeah, that sounds far-fetched. You're not going to be able to accomplish that. That seems like too much. It may be too much for you. It may be too much for you. But the way my mind is set up, this is how I'm going to do this. And this is how it's going to end. And in the middle, this is what I need to work on to get here. Start, middle, end. So it may be too much for you. That's the reason that you're not doing it. I am. Okay? All right. So a lot of times you have to have that. You have to have that mindset about certain things. Otherwise, you'll spend your time being discouraged. And nobody wants to be discouraged. You don't want to have to wonder, maybe they're right. Maybe I did bite off a bit more than I can chew. Or, maybe I was just thinking too big. Any different than these celebrities or these actors and these fashion designers and, what makes you different? Some of them might have been born for money, but all of them weren't. All of them didn't have a silver spoon and just was granted, just had the privilege of having money to invest without having to work for that. A lot of them weren't like that. So if they're able to accomplish the things that they're able to accomplish, why can't you? that brings me into the next topic, work ethic. Now, I know you all just saw me apply something different, and that's my chestnut concealer. That's still NYX. Normally, in my videos, you see me going with a foundation, and that's the CoverGirl D10. But I'm not using that one this time. So we're going to go with concealer. We're actually not going to do a foundation at the moment. That brings me into my next topic. Why, when you see, if you see that, when you see other people doing well, or you see people around you being blessed or doing better, you should, if you feel anything other than motivation or joy for them, you have to look at you have to examine yourself. You need to examine yourself, because I see a lot of people, so many people nowadays that I feel like are so envious. They are so envious of other people and what they're accomplishing and what they're doing. But instead of being envious, how about you be motivated? See what's your it thing, what's something that you want to accomplish, what's something you want to go for, and get hungry about it. You gotta be hungry at the end of the day, because you'll see people, oh, they're like ripped, you know, they're super buff, you know, they walking like this, and we making jokes like on something off of what's that movie with Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, where they were the cops? Y'all know what I mean. I'm gonna insert a clip.
Just muscle-bound dickheads, Mike. You know, cock diesel motherfuckers that can't even fucking turn to wipe their ass, Mike.
Where he was like, you know, he's so cock diesel, where he can't even, you know, you know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, we'll make fun of those people, but do you have that same work ethic? Are you hungry enough to get up and go to the gym as much as he does? Are you hungry enough to spend that amount of time in the gym? Are you hungry enough to push yourself past your limits like he does? What about that? Okay. What about that? You know, like, let's get into it. Let's really get into it, because that's what we don't talk about. People love to talk about when people failing. You know, that's what gossip blogs are about, and we're gonna get on that Friday. You know, we can do Foolishness Fridays. We could talk foolishness all day. We have tons of channels of foolishness. You know, that's why I only designate one day for that. We're gonna designate one day for that, because we don't need foolishness throughout the week. If it's not a Friday, then we're not gonna entertain the foolishness. And even on Fridays, it's iffy. Moving right along. So that's my thing. All right, you all, we're going to go in with our Warm Honey Concealer. And a lot of times I like to mix that, because remember when I went on that drugstore haul, if you all watch my Makeup and a Message Mondays, you all would know. And if you don't, get into it. But, oh, and if you haven't already, if you made it this far, go ahead and hit that like button, because you know you want to. And that'll bring more people to my channel, you know. Help my little algorithm out, okay? So go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe if you will, and yeah, hit that notification bell, because you don't want to miss it. Anyways, so we got Warm Honey, and I'm actually going to mix that with the CoverGirl concealer. It's in the color Warm Honey, you know, sweet like honey. So we're going to mix those two together. Let me get something to get to mixing. Get to mixing. This shall work. All right. So yeah, like, are you hungry enough? So a lot of times why you have to look at everything in a positive aspect. Okay. So you're telling all your plans, like we already talked about that we shouldn't. Now keep in mind, of course, a lot of times you want to touch base with someone you know, just to see, you know, you just want someone to talk to, and that's understandable. That's human nature. But you know, who to talk to and who not to. You know who's going to be supportive of you and who's not. And I'm blessed to have certain family members that I could talk to and bring my ideas to, and they kind of bring my ideas to life, you know, and I'm blessed and highly favored for that. But some people don't. So you have to know your audience. When you're speaking about your goals, when you're speaking about what you want to accomplish, you got to know your audience. So let's go ahead and go in with this concealer. As you can see, I already mixed it.
Then I take that small amount from the top and I work it. I literally work it all around my face. That way it's not too much and hard for me to blend out. And it works. Do the T-zones right quick.
Now I'm going to go in with a darker color, and that's my dark cocoa chocolates, and we're going to add that to already our indentation. So if you see
your face, you see the dent right there, we're going to add that. I call it a dent. You know what I'm talking about. Anyways, we're going to do the chin here. And right here above the concealer, we're going to add that darker color. And outline the nose. Like that. Like this and like that and like this and
So let's chill. Y'all know nothing about that. That's before y'all time and mine. Okay. So yeah, a lot of times you got to know your audience. You got to know who you're speaking to and know if they're not the type of people that's going to push you, you know, people that are just positive by nature. That's what happens. So if you're speaking to a group of people that you already know are not necessarily positive, typically they're always thinking, oh, they're the knock on wood type of people. You know, oh, like, oh, I shouldn't have said that, knock on wood, you know, knock on wood face. Then you already know that's not necessarily somebody that you should be telling your plans to, because our work, they're gonna think, oh, you know, this is some get rich quick scheme. When you've put your time, your effort, you know, your thoughts and your heart into something, they're like, oh, here she go with another get rich quick scheme, you know. Like, no, I don't think you necessarily should be talking about it with that person. If you're in a space where you're trying to grow, you're trying to build, then the people around you should be trying to grow, trying to build, wanting something new. And it doesn't mean you have to, you know, cut them all the way off, but it does mean you have to evaluate who's going to be around you at that time, and maybe where you boost your self-esteem up to a point where, you know, you're not really worried about what they have to say. You might want to distance yourself. Sad to say, but true. So we've discussed quite a few things. The last topic we were just speaking on was who to tell, and we spoke on hunger and how you have to have that work ethic if you want to reach a certain point in your life, of course. And then let's talk about consistency. If you want people to be invested in your content, you have to be invested in your content. If you want somebody to be invested in your business or anything for that nature that involves you, you have to be invested in it as well. Nobody's going to buy into something that you're not buying into yourself. What sense does that make? Make it make sense. Oh, you know, I'm going to buy some cheap clothing because I don't want to spend that much. And I'm gonna, or buy some cheap makeup products because I don't want to spend that much. Slap a label on it, you know, put it online and see who bites. I'm not gonna market. You know, I'm not gonna tell people about it. I'm not gonna get any business cards. I'm not gonna create a fancy looking website. I'm just gonna leave it blank. Just put the picture of the cheap makeup products on there and see who bites. Nobody wants your cheap stuff. Nobody wants something that you didn't put any effort into. Now, you always have that diamond in the rough that it just, you know, happened for them. You know, it just worked out. They didn't put forth any effort. They didn't really care much, and it just worked out. It just blew up because it was just that great of an idea. Sometimes that does happen, but don't just assume that's gonna happen with you. You know, you can't just assume that you can, you know, half your way through everything and think that you're gonna prosper from it. That it doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. So now I'm like, okay, I work, so you got to make a plan. People don't realize if you don't make a plan, it's just bound to fail. You're bound to fail. So let's look at it here. All right. Clearly I couldn't stay consistent with 3 videos a week. I have to work. Sometimes I'm tired when I get off. And sometimes I have just other things to do. I'm just a little bit too busy for 3 videos a week at this time. Now, can I make time? Of course, we can always make time. But did I want to make time? No. So, if I bump down to 2 videos a week, that's doable. Because most people have at least 2 days off in a week. Most people have at least 2 days off in a week. So, that's doable. Now, I've made a plan. How am I going to execute that plan? I have 2 days off in a week. If I can bust out 2 videos in one day, I got a whole day to chill, run errands, and do whatever I need to do. Right? Right. You got to make a plan. You got to make a plan. And it also helps to not be last minute. If you know you have something to do, do it. I'm on here talking to you all. It's super early. I'm doing a full face of makeup. I don't wear makeup to work. I don't wear makeup out. I never wear makeup anymore. But this is makeup and a message. So we're giving you makeup and we're giving you a message. So, you know, like if you're doing something and it makes you happy, if it blows up, it blows up. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That leads me to our last topic. We got to stop worrying about what everybody else thinks. You got to stop worrying about what people think, people's opinions. That you just cannot care. And I say this at work. I say this day to day. You can't care. You think people that have these huge empires, they were listening to any and everybody that had a opinion about what they had going on? No. Of course not. Because if that person that have so much to say about what you got going on knew exactly what they were talking about, then they would have what you want. Now, that you can have mentors, people that have been where you want to go, and take their advice. I think that's a smart business move. But when it comes to people, your friend Jenny from the block, who is she? Who is she? Be telling you what to do.
It's definitely a no for me, dog. The voice is just not there.
It's a no for me, dog. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and finish my makeup off camera, and I'll be back with my final thought and my final look. Thank you, guys. guys, so I am back with the final look. Am I getting better at this or not? My thought is, faith without works is dead. He said it best, okay? And we're put on this earth for a reason. So the worst thing is to leave this earth not knowing why you're here. So if you're blessed with a vision, if you're blessed with a bright idea and you feel like it's going to prosper and you're going to bear fruit from it, go for it. Be hungry about it. And don't let anybody tell you different. Because at the end of the day, it's your life. They're not living it. And if you leave this earth not accomplishing anything, you have no one else to blame but yourself. All right. With that being said, if you haven't already, hit the like button, notification bell if you will, comment, subscribe, and yeah, stay tuned. We'll be back with another video. Bye.